folks. Welcome back to the dadgum Lawrence Jameson Show. In this edition, I'm going to tell about the new AoS Sigmar League that I'm getting into down there at my local games workshop. So, I heard tell on the internet that my local games workshop was going to have a league start up for this Warhammer AoS Sigmar. And so since I got several armies built up already, and I'm wanting to build more always, I decided I wanted to get in on it myself. Well, they said they's going to have a powwow down there Sunday with everybody that wanted to get in on the league and to show up there at 12:30. So by the time I rode down there, about 8 or 10 fellers had turned up, as you say, at that store, and we all sat down and started talking about it. Now, come to find out, several of them didn't have no models at all already. They just wanting to get in to AoS Sigmar. And so then they had the bright ideas that for the first few weeks of this thing, we was going to do Skirmish. Now, I don't reckon half of them knew what they was getting into when they wanted to do this, but I think it was because there's a low model count and all this sucked them into it. And it maybe get the feel for the Sigmar. Well, we all sat down and they had a bunch of votes about what days we'd want to do it and how big the armies and this and that. And they had a vote on how big a Renown they wanted to make you warbands. And somehow or another they took all the numbers that everybody had voted. I myself voted to start at 50 Renowned. And they took all the daggum votes and then made an average out of it, and it come up to 42.8 or something other. And they turned it up to 43 Renowned. And so that's what you get to pick from to get started. And I reckon it's going to go up from there for a couple weeks, and then we're going to go into full-blown AoS Sigmar. Now, like I said, I got several armies, and I could take a Stormcast force or a Bloodbound force, which can be really strong in daggum Skirmish, with a Stormcast, a Lord Relictor, and just about as many Retributors as you can stand to get will do you really well. Same way with a Slaughter Priest and daggum as many Skull Reapers as you can get your hands on will do you real well in this game too. I could have went the easy route and all, but what I wanted to do, I decided on, even though I'm going to take a hit early on, I decided on the Disciples of Tzeentch. Now I done got a pretty decent sized force. I ain't added the total points, but I reckon that's around 1,200 or so points already for Tzeentch. I had that Silver Tower box, and I done bought up a bunch of Blue Horrors and whatnots like that, and Zangors and things, and Skyfires. I done bought all that up for my Tzeentch. I still need a centerpiece for it, but that's going to allow me to get back into the Tzeentch, get some more Blue Horrors and Brimstones painted. Even though I'm going to take a hit on this daggum Skirmish playing Tzeentch early on, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to counter that. So now I'm going to get into my forces of what I'm starting with, and get into what all strategies I'm going to be using, and my whole plan for building up my force in this new league for AoS Sigmar down there at the New Games Workshop in Atlanta, GA. Within a unit or weapon of war, you deal with three basic concepts of speed, firepower, and armor. And there's got to be a balance between these three. If you take from one, if you want to add to one, you got to take from another one. So what I've done here, by picking a Tzeentch force, is I've given up the armor for extreme mobility. And they got some really decent firepower as well. So working off of 43 Renown, first of all, you got to realize what I'm having to give up here as a Tzeentch player in the Skirmish. A lot of my spells is just gone or useless. Even War Scroll spells because anything that has mutations or changes or has any kind of summoning type powers is nada, can't be used. So that wipes out a lot of my spells. My dang destiny dice, my 9 destiny dice are gone in Skirmish, because that's an allegiance ability. It's gone. A fair number of my spells in my lore of change and whatnot is all gone, can't be used. So what I decided to do, I was going to go with they're expensive, these Tzeentch forces, so I was going to go with a leader, an elite, and then, just a regular kind of trooper. And I went back and forth on my list, and I come down to these 3 right here. And first off, as my general, I pick this here Sangor Shaman on the disc. He's got 6 wounds, but he's only got a 5+ save, and no other kind of ways to help him besides maybe Mystic Shield or whatnot. Now, because his War Scroll spell ain't gonna do him no good, all he really has is the daggone Mystic Shield and an Arcane Bolt. So I give him an artifact, I gave him the command ability of Merciless Killer, which gives +1 to wound rolls to models within 6 inches of him, and also himself. And I gave him an artifact. These are both out of the Skirmish book. I gave him the artifact of Cursed Tome, which gives +1 to his casting rolls. However, if he was to roll up a Snake Eyes, a double 1, it'll give a mortal wound to himself. Now, the second thing I picked was an elite. It's going to be a Zangor Skyfire Aviarch, which is the champion or the leader of that unit. He's armed, of course, with that great bow, and that fires dadgum arrows that do mortal wounds. He got a 24-inch range. He's riding a disc as well. He got a 16-inch movement, the same as the shaman. Also got, as my last choice, a Screamer of Tzeentch. Now, I picked him because I kind of wanted to match the movement, the high movement that I got going on already with these guys. And for the points, he seemed alright. I could have thrown a Zangor on the ground, but, he wouldn't have been able to keep up. Now I can run these kind of as a unit together. As long as they're all staying within 6 inches of that daggum shaman right there, they're going to benefit from the Merciless Killer command ability. And that's going to help them out a lot, especially this feller with the bow. Because being a daggum Aviarch and being in the command ability is going to bring his 2 hits and his 2 wounds way down. He's looking at 2s and 2s. I think it was. I'm gonna have to look on it, but when I go through it, but he's my leader. He's my second. He's my third. One thing that's gonna benefit me is only having 3 models. In 5 out of the 6 scenarios up here in Skirmish, the person who finishes setting up first is the one that chooses who goes first in the first battle round. And as that can be big, and I'll probably be deferring a lot of times in Sigmar. Of course, you defer the first turn off because you can't close the range. One of my main strategies is going to be to try to, if I can get this fella set up within 18 inches from the get-go, or else set further back and defer, and try to lure him in, try to set up maybe 24 inches away or whatnot from one of his heroes. Then I can drink an elixir to try to give me 2 spells on the first turn. Hit that sucker with dadgum 2 of them arcane bolts and try to do some damage, because with that artifact and whatnot I got, the Cursed Tome, it's going to make my dang arcane bolts go off at a 4+ on 2 dice with that casting roll. So that's going to be really nice. So well, my main strategy is this. My strategy, as always, is I think they attributed this to Mike Tyson way back. Everybody got a plan till they get punched in the mouth. And so I always try to dictate the game to my opponent and not go off, not try to play defensively and react. Yeah, if I'm making him react to me and on his heels, you know, that's just kind of the way I've always tried to play and all. And I've had decent success with it. So, and with these fellas here, with the offensive power they have, and the being able to just move, I'm going to be able to move so far, so fast on him, that I believe it's going to be some shock and awe brought down by these people. So I'm looking very forward to doing it. I haven't come up with the names yet. I will have the names soon enough for the leader here and that gum Skyfire. And I think, you know, you would even have a name for that screamer. What would you call it, man? He screamed. Ah! Is that a name? Maybe. That might be his name. But I'm looking forward to this dadgum 43 points, and I may get a chance just this evening to test it out in a dadgum trial battle. And I will try to report in on that there. So y'all have a good one. Let me show you one more thing that I like to do and that I've been doing with my armies lately. Because even with this little 3-man deal, there is a lot of ins and outs during the turn. And to help me remember, I make me a cheat sheet or a playbook, as you want to call it, you know, over here. And I list, of course, the name of it, the name of the band, the dadgum culture, the shimmering shizzle, the general's name, his wounds and his save and stuff over there, the artifact and whatnot that he has. And here's where it gets to the real meat of it. I have several pages that I do, and I don't take it unit by unit. I write down by phase. In the hero phase, you see right there, your shaman. You use merciless killer command ability. And then may use sorcerer's elixir. You know, it's to remind me of all these things, right? And then I get down to the movement phase. You know, it tells me what the shaman can move. It tells me what the Zangors, you know, are they, you know, they got that fly keyword. That hopefully is going to help me out some. You know, then that slashing fins, that's to remind me about that screamer. You know, and then the shooting phase, I talk about, you know, what that dadgum Skyfire, who's my only shooter, what he's going to need and all the buffs and whatnot he gets and can get by staying within certain distances. Then I go over here on my last page here and I show there ain't really nothing for this unit here yet in the charge phase to pay attention to special, but in the combat phase I got everybody's stuff written down right there and all their specials, where I can go back in the book and verify if somebody were another was to call me on it or something. But, you know, I got everything written down. And, of course, at the end there on defense special about that screamer, how he gets a 6s turned to 1s and whatnot. But these little cheat sheets, these what I call them playbooks, they have been a real boon to me with all my armies. And I make them for 40K and whatnot and all kind of armies. And it was you almost got to do it up in them big armies, man. And some of my 40K ones go 4, 5, 6 pages long. So anyway, I'm looking forward to all this down there at the store, and I'll keep you everybody updated on it. Y'all have fun. Well now, that's just about the long and the short of it. The Disciples of Zinch. I plan on having a lot of fun down there at the local league. And by the time we get down there to the regular age of Sigmar, rules and all, I'll have a huge army built up with my dadgum centerpiece and get that Kairos Fate Weaver. And once I get my Destiny dice back, it's going to be Destiny. And thank y'all for tuning in. And if you can't help it, go down there and click that daggone subscribe button. If you ain't already, and click a like for the video, and stay tuned for more on the Lawrence Jameson Show. What in tarnation is this? Daggone Warhammer Christmas? Do they celebrate Santa Claus over there in England? What's inside? 3 Myphitic Black Haulers. Oh, Grandpappy's gonna be happy. What else they got in there? A daggone Necromunda poster. Some Necromunda stickers. Uh-huh. Some Necromunda cards. Oh, look at that. Holograph. What else we got in there? A daggum ruler. It feels like, yeah, a damn ruler. But as useful as a, you know, what it's used for. And this, oh, burn that. Burn all that. Hide it. Burn it.